In the ashes of World War II, France stood humiliated. Its skies, once dominated by invaders, its pride shattered. But from that broken past came a promise: never again. And so began the journey toward an aircraft that would restore national power, rewrite air combat, and earn its place among the greatest fighter jets in war history. Not American, not Soviet, French, supersonic, revolutionary. This was the Dassault Mirage III, a delta-wing predator that defied expectations, shattered ceilings, and became the first European aircraft to fly beyond Mach 2. It wasn't just a fighter, it was a symbol, a declaration, a warning to every nation that underestimated France. From nuclear strike missions to dogfights over the deserts of the Middle East, the Mirage III proved itself over and over again, a sleek arrow cutting through the chaos of modern warfare. This is the story of how one aircraft became the pride of a nation, the terror of its enemies, and the blueprint for fighter jets for generations to come. This is not just aviation history. This is a legend forged in fire, war, and defiance.
After World War II, nations like the United States and the USSR built empires of nuclear bombers and jet fighters. France had neither, but it had ambition. While skeptics mocked the idea of French air superiority, Marcel Dassault and his engineers made a decision that would rewrite world aviation. Build a fighter capable of reaching Mach 2. No safety net, no foreign engines, no borrowed designs. Just engineering, courage, and a nation desperate for technological survival. The Mirage III didn't emerge from comfort. It came from the pressure of extinction. Every rivet, every weld, every design choice was shaped by urgency. This wasn't just a weapons program, it was a resurrection. And in 1959, when the first Mirage III roared into the sky and tore through the sound barrier, France didn't just build a fighter jet. It reclaimed its place among world powers.
In aviation, there are designs, and there are revolutions. The delta wing was the latter. Most aircraft relied on traditional swept wings, but Dassault chose something radical, a triangular wing inspired by rocket science and supersonic airflow modeling. To skeptics, it looked unstable, dangerous, doomed to fail. To Dassault, it was the future of air dominance. The delta wing gave the Mirage III unmatched climb rates, blistering acceleration, low maintenance, and extreme high-speed stability. This aircraft didn't turn like its rivals. It sliced, it sprinted, it hunted at altitude where few could follow. The Delta wasn't just a wing, it was a weapon. A design so effective, it would influence fighters including the Mirage 2000, Saab Gripen, and even modern war machines still flying today. The Mirage III wasn't built to follow aviation trends, it was built to create them.
Most people think of the Mirage III as a dogfighter, but its first true mission was far more terrifying. Before France built the Mirage IV, before the submarine-launched missiles, the Mirage III was the nuclear sword of the nation. It could climb to operational altitude faster than any aircraft in French history. It could deliver a nuclear strike and escape before enemy radars could react. And in the Cold War, that meant survival. The Mirage III became a strategic weapon, a deterrence platform that gave France independence from NATO in the United States. Its existence changed geopolitical calculations. It forced superpowers to reconsider Europe. No one expected a medium-sized nation to build a supersonic nuclear delivery fighter, but the Mirage III did. And its message was clear: France will never be defenseless again.
The Mirage III was no longer just a prototype. It was about to face the one test every war machine must confront: combat. 1967. The Middle East was about to ignite. Israel, surrounded by enemies, prepared for its most desperate fight, a battle for survival. And at the front of its air force stood the Mirage III. In the opening hours of the Six-Day War, Israeli pilots launched Operation Focus, a precision strike that destroyed entire Arab air forces on the ground. The Mirage III flew low, fast, and silent, striking radar bases, bombing runways, hunting down enemy MiG-21s in the sky. By the end of the war, the Mirage III had taken part in more than 800 sorties and achieved a kill ratio that stunned military strategists worldwide. It was agile, it was lethal, it was the sword of survival for a nation under fire. The world was watching, and the Mirage III had just earned its place among history's greatest fighter jets.
Above the burning sands of Sinai, a new era of air combat was born. Supersonic jets dogfighting with missiles and radar. The Mirage III faced its ultimate rival, the Soviet-built MiG-21, fast, deadly, and flown by skilled Egyptian and Syrian pilots. It was the clash every defense analyst feared: Western engineering versus Soviet engineering in real combat. The Mirage III outclimbed, out-accelerated, and outmaneuvered its opponent. Its delta wing and performance at high speed allowed Israeli pilots to execute deadly vertical maneuvers, swinging from defense to offense in seconds. The Mirage III's Shafrir and Matra missiles turned the sky into a hunting ground. It was a duel that shaped modern air combat doctrine, with lessons still taught in air academies today. And from that day forward, the name Mirage III carried a message: if you fly against it, prepare to fall.
After its victories, the world wanted the Mirage III. Nations from Australia to Brazil, from Argentina to South Africa, lined up to buy this aircraft. It became one of the most exported Western fighters in history, flying in over 20 air forces. It fought in South America, Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. Its impact was not just military, it reshaped global defense economics, proving that a medium power like France could challenge the aviation dominance of the USA and USSR. The Mirage III became the jet of nations that refused to be spectators. It gave them teeth, pride, a seat at the table of global military power. This was not just a fighter jet, it was a diplomatic weapon.
The Mirage III wasn't flashy. It wasn't overloaded with electronics. It was simple, rugged, battle-ready. You could operate from rough runways, be serviced in remote bases, and remain deadly with minimal logistical support. Unlike many modern jets, the Mirage III was designed for war, not for show. Its engines, avionics, and weapon systems were easy to maintain and easy to adapt. That simplicity kept it flying for decades, long after more advanced aircraft were grounded. A pilot once said, "Fly the Mirage, and you'll understand the meaning of balance." In an age of over-engineered war machines, the Mirage III proved that genius doesn't need complexity, just vision.
Intense, cinematic, battlefield realism. The Mirage III had proven itself in peacetime, but its true tests lay in war. In the jungles of South America and the deserts of the Middle East, the aircraft became a guardian of nations. Its speed, agility, and precision allowed pilots to execute surgical strikes, intercept enemy bombers, and establish air superiority with minimal loss. Every mission tested its battlefield strategy, from high-speed intercepts to low-level penetration runs. The Mirage III demonstrated that military technology wasn't just about firepower, it was about flexibility, reliability, and the ability to dominate any theater of modern warfare.
Across every sky it patrolled, the Mirage III carved its name into war history, proving that a medium-sized nation could wield power on a global scale. The Cold War was not just political. It was fought in the skies. The Mirage III faced off against the Soviet MiG-21, America's F-104 starfighter, and countless other advanced war weapons. Every encounter was a test of aircraft design, pilot skill, and battlefield strategy. Its delta wing, supersonic speed, and reliable avionics allowed it to outperform many contemporaries. And every successful mission cemented France's global military power, proving that innovation and strategy could rival sheer numbers. The Mirage III wasn't just part of the arms race. It often led the race, inspiring future war machines and influencing fighter jet design across continents.
June 1967. The Middle East is a fuse waiting for a spark. Before dawn breaks, Israeli Mirage IIIs rise from the desert like ghosts. Their mission? Strike first or lose everything. In Operation Focus, Mirage IIIs scream across the sand at ultra-low altitude, invisible to radar, hunting grounded Egyptian aircraft. In just hours, the Arab air forces are crippled. The Mirage III becomes a legend, a surgical scalpel that changed the course of a war. Dogfights erupt over the Sinai. Mirages outturn, outclimb, and outgun MiG-21s. Pilots call it the fighter that let us live long enough to win. The world watches in disbelief. A French machine, in Israeli hands, just redefined air superiority doctrine. Tactical, technical, play-by-play cinematic analysis. The Mirage III wasn't just fast, it rewrote how air combat was fought. Its delta wing allowed blistering climbs and supersonic dives. Its radar and heat seekers gave pilots lethal first-shot capability. Where others fought turning battles, the Mirage III mastered the vertical fight, using raw power to dominate from above. In the hands of experts, it was poetry in motion and death in seconds. But every revolution breeds a counter. The MiG-21 spread like wildfire across the Eastern Bloc. The stage was set for the fiercest rivalry of the Cold War skies. Dark, ominous, Cold War paranoia. While some nations flew the Mirage as a hunter, France gave it a darker purpose. Beneath the wings of a sleek fighter lay the weight of Armageddon. The Mirage III carried AN-52 nuclear weapons, a quiet message to the Soviet Union. Cross the line and we will burn the world with us. Pilots trained in silence. Bombs were loaded under floodlights behind guarded fences. No glory, no press, only responsibility. The Mirage III was no longer just a fighter. It was a nuclear messenger, and the world never forgot it.
From Argentina to Pakistan, South Africa to Ecuador, the Mirage III became the weapon of choice for nations seeking independence or survival. In the Falklands, Mirages faced off against Harriers over storm-choked seas. In South Africa, they shaped decades of border conflict. In Pakistan, they served as frontline guardians against India. Every pilot who flew it tells the same story. It made you feel like a predator.
Tactical, technical, play-by-play cinematic analysis. The Mirage III refused to die. New radars, new missiles, new engines. Every upgrade was a rebirth. Then came the Mirage 5, Nesher, Kfir, and even Pakistani Rose upgrades.
a 1950s airframe flying into the 21st century. It wasn't just a fighter. It was a platform, a blueprint, a revolution that refused to fade.
By the late 1980s, the world had moved on. Fighters now had pulse Doppler radar, fly-by-wire, and laser-guided weapons. But in dusty hangars surrounded by spare parts and battle scars, the Mirage III fought on. In the 1999 Kargil conflict, Pakistani Mirages climbed toward the world's highest battlefield. In Argentina, pilots whispered stories of Falklands dogfights, split-second decisions, missile trails crossing the cold sky. This wasn't just a fighter, it was a veteran, a warrior that refused to surrender to time itself.
Ask any Mirage III pilot what it felt like. They don't describe the machine, they describe the moment, the acceleration during takeoff, the shriek of the Atar turbojet, the way the delta wing sliced the air like a blade. That moment when speed became silence and fear became focus. The Mirage didn't fly for you, it tested you. It demanded precision, and for those who mastered it, it became an extension of their soul.
Even today, decades later, the Mirage III's silhouette still inspires. Every Dassault fighter that followed, Mirage 2000, Rafale, carries echoes of that delta wing design. In aviation museums, children stop and stare at it. They don't know its victories or its losses. They simply feel its presence. Because beauty in engineering is timeless, and the Mirage III was sculpted like a weapon and remembered like a legend.
Emotional farewell. Tribute. One by one, the engines fell silent. Maintenance logs closed forever, and the Mirage III took its last breath of air. Some were scrapped. Others became monuments. But a few are still flying, preserved by enthusiasts who refuse to let history die. When the wheels leave the runway now, they carry not warheads, but memories. It was never the fastest, never the most modern, but it was the right aircraft at the right time, flown by the right pilots. From nuclear deterrence to the first moments of modern air combat, from jungles to deserts to frozen seas, the Mirage III carved its name across the sky. It was a symbol of independence, a tool of strategy, a masterpiece of simplicity and power. This is not just the story of a fighter jet. It is the story of an era, of pilots, of nations, of a world on the edge, looking up at a delta wing slicing through history.